brains of the computer. As it gets used, it generates a lot of heat. This means that if it isn't kept cool, it will burn out and be unusable for the computer. CPU cooling is what keeps the computer alive, similar to life support.
The inner components of the computer heat up after use, and the air cooling system cools it down so it doesn't heat up and ruin the fragile parts of the computer. Air cooling is the most common type of CPU cooling and uses a component called a CPU fan.
Liquid cooling is more effective than air cooling. Liquid cooling uses a heat sink to draw the heat out, and then the water will cool it, while transferring into the water. When the water travels to the radiator, the heat is taken out by fans which are placed above the radiator.
Fridge cooling is a method which the person installs the computer components into the fridge. The good thing about fridge cooling is that it maintains the temperature of the computer in the fridge at a certain temperature. The fridge cooling means that the fridge will end up as the case of your computer, since it needs to keep the whole computer at a certain temperature. Fridge cooling may be efficient but is recommended for gamers and editors as it is sometimes hard to install.
To put it in more simpler terms, imagine a person running. After all, they just get so hot and dehydrated that they can't move anymore. And what they need to do is either cool down in the air, drink some water, cool down in air conditioning, or just use a mini fan.
First of all, if you choose a CPU fan, you'll be looking for a much safer and cheaper option, as a CPU fan is the most common option for basic computer owners. If you were to use liquid cooling, it will be more efficient and you can immediately tell the difference between the high whizzing and the deadly silent pump. Although there is a new invention of cooling of the CPU, which is the fridge cooling system, which is easier than water cooling system because nothing needs to be replaced and there is hardly any sound.
Air cooling is not as effective as liquid cooling, and it has to be placed strategically in a place where cool air can be freely obtained and not blocked by a wall. Liquid cooling has to be properly installed, otherwise there is a high risk of leakage, and if it was to leak, it will ruin your whole computer. Refrigerating cooling is very expensive and hard to install. Also, it is very unsuitable for basic computer owners who are not into gaming or video editing. All these components are not totally reliable, and if not looked after, can completely destroy your computer.